When Hiccup managed to tame a Night Fury and become its rider, he advanced Viking exploration by leaps and bounds, allowing them to fly further than traveling by ship would have ever allowed. In today's video, we'll be ranking every single dragon rider featured in the How to Train Your Dragon movies. But before we get started, let's set out our metric behind the rankings. We won't rank them on power alone, because that gives a significant advantage to riders who just selected more powerful dragons. Instead, we'll be ranking the riders based on how well they brought out each dragon's potential and the strength of their relationship. Right at the bottom of the list, at number 11, we have the primary antagonist from the third movie, Grimmel the Grizzly, along with his Death Grippers. This species is perfectly adapted for hunting other dragons, and their strength, agility, and acid breath make them formidable foes. So, at first, they seem like the perfect choice for the dragon hunter. However, the problem with Grimmel is that he actually ended up weakening his Death Grippers in the process of training them to carry his airship. Just think about it. Using Death Gripper venom against them for mind control is an ingenious idea, but the same tactic takes away their intelligence and cunning. As a result, even 2 Death Grippers working together couldn't take down Valka and Cloudjumper, while 4 of them failed to hunt down Toothless. If Grimmel had actually developed a bond with the dragons while letting them keep their intelligence, things would have gotten really dicey for the dragon riders. Moving on from an irredeemable villain, number 10 is a rider with one of the best character arcs in the series, Stoick the Vast. Stoick's dragon was a skull crusher named Rumblehorn who was just as stubborn and hard-headed as the Viking chief. Stoick and Skull Crusher were formidable in combat as both of them boasted incredible strength. However, they both had a soft and caring side for those under their protection. As a tracker-class dragon, Skull Crusher was vital in tracking down Hiccup to Valka's mountain after he flew off on his own. During the initial battle against Drago, it was Skull Crusher who saved Valka from falling to her death. Now, it might seem that Stoick and Skull Crusher deserve a higher ranking, but the issue is that the dragon and his rider didn't have enough time to bond and grow together because of Stoick's tragic death. However, this doesn't mean that Skull Crusher was left without a rider, as we'll see later on in this video. But before that, number 9 goes to our favorite Viking veteran and master blacksmith, Gobber the Belch. True to his roots in the forge, Gobber chooses to ride a hot burple named Grump. Hot burples eat scrap iron and use the metal to fuel their lava-based fire attacks. In Grump's case, he uses this ability to keep the flame in Gobber's forge alive, making the blacksmith and his dragon nearly inseparable. Grump has also shown himself to be immensely strong, and he managed to take out many of Drago's henchmen when the Vikings of Berk battled against the warlord. However, true to the nature of boulder-class dragons, Grump is extremely lazy, and he often ignores Gobber, refusing to wake up to light his forge. While this duo has a great relationship, we haven't really seen them progress beyond each other's individual strengths, which means they end up ranking pretty low. Just above Gobber and Grump at number 8, we have Skull Crusher's second rider, Eret, son of Eret. Before joining the Dragon Riders, Eret was one of the best dragon trappers to work for Drago. Now, while you may feel there's a bit of self-aggrandization going on here, you have to remember that he designed almost all of Drago's highly advanced traps. Eret's intelligence makes him the perfect fit for a tracker-class dragon like Skull Crusher, and we see them partnering in the third movie to scout down trapper barges to rescue and liberate other dragons. While these two have a ton of potential, Eret's late start means that he just doesn't have the same level of skill as the other riders of Berk. At number 7, we encounter the first of the Academy Dragon Riders in this video, the twins Roughnut and Toughnut. These two ride on a hideous zippleback whose 2 heads are named Barf and Belch. This dragon is actually a great match for the twins, as their destructive personalities line up perfectly with the hideous zippleback's nature. We see Barf and Belch put their firepower to great use in the third movie when they raid one of the trapper's ships and liberate the caged dragons on board. Now, while Barf and Belch's inability to work with each other perfectly matches Roughnut and Toughnut, that does not mean they are a good duo. Their constant quarrel and lack of cooperation often leads to misunderstandings and mistakes, such as Roughnut being left behind on Grimmel's ship. Having a rider also holds back the hideous zippleback in a way because it cannot light itself on fire to use one of its most potent weapons, the flaming Ouroboros. At number 6, we have another pair where a dragon's destructive capability is held back by its rider in the form of Snotlout and his monstrous nightmare, Hookfang. With Snotlout's arrogant personality, it's a miracle that he even managed to tame a dragon, and his relationship relationship with Hookfang is certainly a bit rocky. However, the duo are warriors at heart and can put their disagreements aside when it really matters, and Hookfang and Snotlout were among the few brave enough to challenge Drago head-on. Just like in the case of Barf and Belch, Hookfang cannot set himself on fire when working with Snotlout, and this holds back the dragon's destructive potential and his ability to rank higher on our list. The next entry on our list is probably the most controversial pick in this video, and I know y'all are going to have a field day with this one. At number 5, we have none other than Drago Bloodfist and his Bewilderbeast. Now, I know what you're going to say. Drago basically tortured that poor dragon into submission, but you have to admit that that warlord also unlocked its potential to kill Valka's Bewilderbeast and be the next alpha. From this perspective, Drago is a great trainer as he had a grand vision and executed it perfectly with his dragon. But even more impressive is the fact that he actually managed to tame the alpha and make it follow his orders, something not even Valka could do. But ultimately, Drago's Bewilderbeast could not hold on to its position as it was overpowered by Toothless's bond with Hiccup, proving that a master-pet relationship can never overcome a true partnership. And this is what sets our top 4 apart from the rest. These dragons and their riders are immensely loyal companions, with their strengths and talents complementing each other perfectly. Ranked at number 4, we have Fishlegs and his grunkle, Meatlug. With this duo lax in speed and agility, they more than make up for with their intelligence and raw power. As we've seen in their many battles, Fishleg has trained Meatlug in a range of special moves such as the stop, drop, and hover, barrel roll, and gale force grunkle to maximize her destructive power. Fishleg's natural curiosity and inquisitive mind also led to the discovery of Grunkle Iron, which the Vikings of Berk used to great effect when forging weapons. While the Grunkle's 6-shot firepower limit is usually considered a drawback, Fishlegs realized that it could be recharged when Meatlug eats rocks, effectively helping his dragon overcome its natural weakness. Just narrowly edging out Fishlegs and taking number 3, we have Astrid Hofferson and her deadly natter, Stormfly. What makes this partnership so impressive is how perfectly their personalities align. Astrid's competitive nature and warrior instincts work beautifully with Stormfly's speed and precision as a tracker-class dragon. Furthermore, Astrid and Stormfly have a great work ethic as they train effortlessly to become stronger every day. Thus, this duo is Berk's second most powerful strike force after Hiccup and Toothless. As a deadly natter, Stormfly possesses one of the hottest flames known to the Vikings, but Astrid prefers to use her dragon's spike shooting abilities and incredible agility to incapacitate opponents instead. Astrid's mastery of every aspect of her dragon's potential makes them one of the most versatile teams in combat. We see this partnership shine throughout the series, from their flawless aerial maneuvers to their coordinated attacks against enemy forces. However, what keeps Astrid and Stormfly from the top spot is that while their bond is incredibly strong, it doesn't quite reach the transformative level we see in our top 2. At number 2, we have the dragon rescuer who spent 2 decades perfecting her craft, Valka and her Stormcutter, Cloudjumper. Just think about the origins of this partnership. Over 20 years, Cloudjumper and Valka formed a strong bond, working together to save thousands of dragons from Drago's trappers. Their relationship transcends the typical dragon rider dynamic to become something more like a spiritual partnership. Cloudjumper's unique 4-wing design and incredible size make him one of the most powerful dragons we've ever seen. Meanwhile, Valka is able to ride on Cloudjumper while standing, demonstrating a level of trust and balance that borders on the impossible. What's most impressive about their duo is their shared mission. They didn't just bond for companionship, they dedicated their lives to protecting and rescuing other dragons. And finally, at number 1, we have the partnership that started it all, Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III and Toothless, the Night Fury. This isn't just the best dragon rider partnership in the series, it's the relationship that revolutionized how Vikings and dragons interact with each other. Their relationship, marked by mutual respect and deep affection, transformed Hiccup from an insecure young boy to a respected leader worthy of his father's legacy. What makes this partnership so special is that Hiccup and Toothless fundamentally transformed each other. Hiccup went from being the village outcast to becoming a confident leader, while Toothless evolved from being an unholy offspring of lightning and death itself to the alpha of the dragons in the hidden world. Hiccup and Toothless clearly have the strongest bond of all the riders and their dragons in the series as well. This connection was so powerful that it allowed them to overcome Drago's wildebeest, and establish Toothless as the new alpha dragon. And that concludes our ranking of every dragon rider in the How to Train Your Dragon movies. Do you agree with how this leaderboard turned out? As always, let us know in the comments down below.